Hello everyone, let's look into variables in Python, how we'll be declaring variables, what are the different rules to write a variable in Python. So first up, we'll be looking into what is a variable. Okay, a variable is nothing but a container of a value. We'll be having several values, right, in Python. So for storing each and every value, we'll be having some space in our memory. So for that memory, we'll assign some names, and that names is nothing but variable. We'll be giving each and every variable a name, particular name, to store and assign a value. We'll be assigning some values, or we'll be having storing some values in it. So generally, variable is a container that contains a particular value. The value may be a string, float, integer, whatever may be the value. It just holds the value. That's it. So as we discussed, the value can be anything. Integer means the numerical values without decimals. Float in the sense the numerical values with decimals, and the string values like naming, anything between the double quotes and single quotes is nothing but a string. You know the strings in C, so it is as similar in that. So the next thing is the value that we assign to a variable is known as constant. Whatever value we are assigning to a variable is nothing but a constant, but the naming system which we are giving is variable. What are the rules to create variables? We will be having several rules for everything, right? So what are the rules to create a variable? So first thing is the variable should be in the combination of A to Z and 0 to 9. It may be capitals or even in the small letters. So it must be in the combination of A to Z alphabets and 0 to 9 numbers and underscore. The last thing you can see here in this last line is nothing but underscore. And then a variable should never be started with a number. We should not start a variable with a number. And a variable should not have any special character. The special character in the sense like asterisk, your hash symbols, dollar symbol, percentage symbol, these all symbols are nothing but special characters. So these special characters are not allowed, and even the spaces, giving the spaces between the variable name is not allowed. And also in Python, variables are case sensitive. We'll be discussing what are these rules in directly in the IDEs. We'll be using an IDE called PyCharm. So we'll be looking into variables, how we'll be declaring variables, what are the rules as we discussed, as we seen in the slides, right? So let's look into the variables, how it will be looking like. So as you see here, we'll be having a container, right? Different boxes you can see, like a small a is equal to 10, we have mentioned like this, and capital A is equal to pi, var is equal to 180, like this we have mentioned, right? So what you can see is a here is variable. The name which we are giving priorly is nothing but variable name. Var is variable. Here a, small a and capital A and var are nothing but variable names. We have given some variables, right? For that variables we are assigning some values. These are all things after the equal to symbol. On the right hand side are nothing but values. These values in the sense are constants, as we discussed in the slides. The left side which we are writing is nothing but variable name, and the right side after is equal to, which we are writing, is nothing but the value or a constant. So the value can be anything, as we discussed, like integer, float, and character as well, like strings. So let's look into the variables in directly. So here we are using PyCharm IDE, and here in this IDE I have created a file called variables.py, as you can see here. So in this variables.py file we are going to write some code, like let's see how we'll be using variables and all. So let's take hash. It's just nothing but comments. All the comments are used for documentation. As we know, in Python or any programming language we use comments for documentation. Let's see why these are useful for us. See, if you are writing any program, then if your friend or any other developer looking into your program, he might not get any understanding towards your program, what you are doing in that. So for them it will be useful for quickly analyze your code and all. So the comments are useful in Python or any programming language. While you are dealing with some projects, it's very useful for us to write comments. So I suggest you to follow and write comments in each and every code you develop. So in Python we have comments, right? And these comments are started with hash symbol. After writing the hash symbol, whatever thing you write, it will be commented, and it will not be reflecting in your output as well. So in Python, the comments start with hash symbol. So these are single line comments. Whatever you can write, you are writing, it will not be displayed on your output. So just leave it apart. So as we discussed, to declare a variable, the rules and regulations we have discussed. What are the rules? The first thing, we have to use alphabets and numbers and even underscores if we want. Like let's take name underscore 5. We used what are the things we used? The alphabets, underscore, and a number. We are assigning a value called 10. This is a good way to use a variable. In the same way, following the other rules, like capital name underscore 5 is equal to 20. You may see that like we have used same things, but what we have done in Python is the Python variables are case sensitive. So these two variables are different. Let's see in the output. If you want to see the output, just print it. Print statement is an output statement. It just what it does is it just displays the output, whatever you mention in that. As you see in the output, you can see while printing name underscore 5 small n, we use small n, that indicates 10. And the next statement, we have used capital name capital N, and that's saying 20. So as we seen, the name underscore 5, the first name underscore 5 in the first line, it's holding the value of 10, and the second thing is holding the value of 20. This is a sort of difference between the case sensitivity. Let's take another thing also. A is equal to 20. Let's take capital A is equal to 25. Just print it and see in the output. If you take A and print capital A, if you see the output, you can see 20 and 25 are printed. See, as you see in the output, 20 and 25. The small a is holding a value of 20 and the capital A is holding the value of 25. It's just same simple, and as you seen earlier. So you got the idea of writing the variables, right? So let's see what are the things we should not do while writing variables. As we discussed, it should not start with a number. See, 5 name is not good to use, and it is wrong to use the variable system. And also using name 5, this is the wrong system to use because we are having a space between name and 6. So it is not correct. Instead of this, we can use name underscore 5, and also instead of using the first thing 5 name, you can write as name 5. You know that the variables must start with alphabets or underscore. You can even start with underscore as well, but it is not good to use because we'll be having different classes and objects in Python, right? So we will be discussing about it later. And also the major thing which we need to learn is you should not use the default keywords as variables. Like in every programming language, we'll be having some particular keywords, right? We'll have if conditions, elif conditions, right? Else conditions, and keywords like you can see in Python we have in for, like for loop, we have for loop, right? So these are all some keywords which are performing some prior built-in function. So we should not use this as variables. The keywords which we are having in Python should not be used as variables. So it is very wrong to use like if is equal to 5. You should not assign any value to these keywords. It is wrong to do. Okay, that's the thing about variables. In the upcoming sessions, we'll be looking deep into other things, essential things like input output statements, if else conditions, loops, functions, and other. This is the thing which you need to know about variables in this session. And thanks for watching. Share with your friends. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.